We are free spirits, can't be locked down. We will not comply or get bossed out. Do you wanna see the masses get hostile? Can't coerce us. Do you accept the great reset? We don't want the vaccine, you can keep it. Trust a politician.
Turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. You're the ones trying something with the mask. Crumble. Do you think I will crumble? No, I will survive. Oh, as long as I know I know I'm still alive. I got all my life to live. I got all my life to give. I will survive. Hey, hey.
What's your name and what do you do?
I'm Maria and I'm a lead practice nurse for 23 years. My body, my choice. We already know that these vaccines do not work. We already know that whether you have 2 jabs, 3 jabs or as many as they want, it doesn't stop you from getting the virus, does not stop you from getting infected, does not stopping you from transmitting the virus. So what is the main reason why they want us to be vaccinated when we actually are seeing patients in hospitals who've had 2 or more jabs and they are infected with the virus? I'm sorry, but this is absolutely a joke. It's our body, our choice.
Hi, my name's Jodie. I work for the ambulance service. And it's clearly not effective, because if it was as effective as they promised, we'd be out of this mess by now. And, we've had the experience firsthand from, we go to plenty of people as the ambulance service who have COVID and have had all their jabs. They might have had 1 jab, they might have had 2 jabs, they might have had a booster, they might have even had a 4th jab by now. But we're still going to people who have got COVID. Now, there is the argument that a lot of people would say, well, it makes you have less severe symptoms. But again, a lot of these people have had COVID more than once.
I'm here to support freedom. I'm a member of the Global Veterans Alliance, and that's what we support. Ourselves, our friends, colleagues, put our lives on the line for freedom, and we see it bit by bit being eradicated.
Because we think it won't end here. We think that if they can mandate this, then what else does that set a precedent for? And that worries us.
Basic fundamental rights. Basic rights. We can never force the patient to take a medication. It applies to us as well. We should not be forced to take something we don't want. I fully respect everybody's decision if they want to take it. I've got my own reason why I don't want to take it. It's a personal reason.
I'm here to support freedom and democracy. Whatever choices people make, that's their choice.
Okay. Over the centuries, soldiers have fought for the freedom we have today.
Exactly, and now it's being eroded now, the freedom, so that's why we're here to support freedom. It's been taken away from us, and we can't support that as veterans. That's not what we signed up for. We signed up to protect freedom.
What have I got to do now?
I've got to go.
Thank you very much, sir.
Cheers.
We are free spirits, can't be locked down. We will not comply or get bossed out. Do you wanna see the masses get hostile? Can't coerce us. Do you accept the great reset? We don't want the vaccine, you can keep it. Trust a politician, you think I'm an idiot? We do not consent. Listen up, stop listening to these experts. They've been paid off building their net worth. Scheming behind the scenes, their agenda is covert. They push propaganda on the network.
Big pharma, isn't it? You know, but
Well, I think it's a money racket, really.
It is a money racket.
I mean, if you were somebody that had, was making money off vaccines, or not just vaccines but tests and masks, why would you ever want it to stop? Because your whole your market is the whole world of 7 billion people, and not only are they your market, you've also got governments around the world mandating it. So you've actually got a market which is the biggest market any company has ever had, biggest target market, and they're also the target market is forced to buy your product.
This is a gene therapy. It's not a vaccine. This is a job that has been manufactured very quick, very fast, without the studies, without the evidence, and we are not rat labs. And we should not put something in our bodies that we don't know the short, medium and long-term effects of these jobs, because we don't know, nobody knows. And we do know about the short adverse because there are so many people now that they are getting sick after having these jobs, but the media is not reporting them. Go to the American website VAERS, and then we will see how many people have died from these jobs, how many people have had adverse events from these jobs, and how many people now are sick and unwell because of these jobs. Because this is not a vaccine. I'm not against vaccines. I've never been. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a nurse. I'm against the COVID vaccine because it's not well studied. We don't know what's going to happen in a couple of years' time. And to all these people that they have been manipulated by our governments around the world and by the media.
Sorry, my name's Vanessa and I work in admin. Obviously they're asking me is mandatory because I work within the NHS, I have to get it done. I don't have a problem with any vaccines or anything. I just have an issue with it being mandatory. It's freedom of choice. Let me choose whether I want to or don't. I choose not to have it because I don't trust in the COVID vax. So that's my choice. I don't think it should be imposed on people. No, it shouldn't be imposed on people. I think it's unfair.
What about the argument to say it's for the safety of others?
How can it be the safety? Because not in a funny way. Well, until Boris stops having Christmas, parties at the gardens and inviting everyone, then maybe. But until then, no, it's not. You can't say it is and then open the world again and say, okay, you don't have to wear face masks. Certain rules and regulations are being changed. Why now? I just don't get it. Why now? Like, answer me this question. Why now? At the peak of the pandemic, I could kind of understand. I'd be like, all right, I get it if they want to say make it mandatory. But now it's kind of reducing from the figures from what they've showed us. Why is it now compulsory for the NHS staff members, frontline, who have been there from the get-go to now impose that on us? Why? Why now? What's the reason behind it?
Stick your COVID mandate up your ass.
Forceful, but nobody here's supposed to know more. We are free spirits, can't be locked down. We will not comply or get bossed about. Do you want to see the masses get hostile? Can't coerce us. Do you accept the great reset? We don't want the vaccine, we don't need it. Trust a politician, you think I'm an idiot? We do not consent. We are free spirits, can't be locked down. We will not comply or get bossed about. Do you want to see the masses get hostile? Can't coerce us. Do you accept the great reset? We don't want the vaccine, you can keep it. Trust a politician, you think I'm an idiot? We do not consent.
Maintain that if I was such a threat to vulnerable people, I think the government should be held account for that, because I should have been fired months ago. Why did they let me work through the whole winter pressure? It's like we need you now, but come April we don't need you.
Why we're still working now?
Yeah, we're still here to April.
Congratulate all of you for sticking up for your rights. Thank you so much. We are all with you. Thank you for everything you lot have done. for eternity, and hopefully no one will lose their job.
Shame on you! 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 Shame on you!
I was going into people's houses, going in to help them. I didn't have a jab and they had COVID. Now that same thing is happening now. I haven't had a jab and they've got COVID. But the narrative has changed where I've gone from being, a brave hero, not saying I ever thought of myself as a hero, but I've gone from being like brave, putting my health at risk, to now all of a sudden this narrative has changed and I'm doing the same thing, and now all of a sudden I'm the one putting other people at risk. And that's what upsets me, is that it's just not true.
Well, this is it.
You tell us.
I mean, even if you watch mainstream news, they're saying we've got loads of NHS staff off sick over the Christmas. Obviously, the majority of them probably would have had their vaccine. I've never gone off sick. I've never even had a runny nose with it. That's my own personal choice. I know lots of my colleagues have had COVID at least twice. Probably some have had it 3 times. They've had their boosters and they've gone off with it, which is fair enough. And they'll probably happily roll their arms up and have a 4th one. I still respect their right to do that. That's their choice. Body autonomy, basic human rights. That's all about it. If you can't live in a society with basic human rights, what's the point of it? What's the point of it? You know, I would say to anyone that is forced to take the vaccine, remember when you do take the vaccine and they are going to jab you, just say you don't consent to it. You do not consent to that. You know, when we go to a patient who's not well, we've got a capacity form that we fill out. You have to fill out, and the question we ask is the patient able to make an independent decision without being coerced? Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. Are you able to do that?
And if they're not, then they're considered not to have capacity.
The bigger reason I'm here is not even for my job. I almost accept it now, it's gone. I worry about the next generation. Children, kids, 5-year-old children, forced to have it. That's what I worry about. Not just in this country, all across Europe. You know, if you're an adult and you're 18, you want to have the vaccine, that's fine. When you're a child, this has been forced on you.
And children inherently don't have capacity to consent. That's why we have an age of consent for things like, for lots of things in life. Generally the age of consent is 16 or 18, depending what we're talking about. The science is constantly changing. The government constantly is telling us different things that completely contradict what they said previously. There's so many contradictions going around that it's hard to know what to believe. So I've personally, talking about that capacity to consent issue, I don't feel that I really have the capacity to consent, because another part of capacity and consent is whether you are freely making that decision. And I don't feel like I am freely making that decision, because there's coercion and pressure coming on us from all sides.
We need protection from them and their bad decisions. Yeah. That's who we need protecting from. From Boris. Yeah, Boris. And who's the other one?
Sashi.
And him as well. We need protection from them.
It is a small percentage of patients, but I definitely have gone to patients who have had side effects of vaccines. Some really bad, some mild. I've been to families where the patient has said, my dad had, second particular vaccine, and he's had a couple of strokes and he's passed since. And there's been so many things that have not been highlighted, and I know I'm guilty of that as well. I've definitely gone to patients who've had bad reactions to it, and at the very start of it, when patients were really sick that I brought into hospital, when I was, say, giving my hand over and saying, medical history's this, and also just to let you know, they had their vaccine, say, 2 days ago, whatever. There was a bit of arrogance with certain doctors at the time where people roll their eyes and go, oh, it can't be that. Because people were just not critically thinking. There is still a bit of that as well. Not as much. People are a bit more open-minded, but still, yeah.
It's harder now because it's been so long since everyone had their vaccines. At the beginning it was more obvious when everyone was like vaccine free, and then they started rolling it out, especially to the elderly people. That was when you could really see the differences and you knew people had just had them. Obviously now, the more time goes on, the harder it is to correlate any vaccine injuries with actually having the vaccine. because unless something happens to you straight away, people don't believe it. And we've met a lot of people who have, been what they believe to be injured by their vaccine, who just, have had no one believe them. And I think that's really sad as well, because they've done this for the greater good. They've been told that this is the way out of it and this is what you must do for society. And then actually when something's happened to them because of it, they felt really, left by the wayside, and no one cares, no one wants to know, and no one believes them. Because for a lot of people, admitting that, bad things could come from them, for some people, is just too much for them to comprehend, and they just switch off. It's not like it's just one way or the other. We're going to both. We're going to vaccinated and unvaccinated who are not well, medium, severe, critical. We are going to all of them.
So in the sense, it doesn't make any difference.
Well, I don't feel like it makes enough of a difference to make me want to have it.
Yeah, I can only talk about my own personal experience, not what I've read, and that's why I'm here.
United we stand, so let's rally up the rebels. Celebs ain't speaking out, they're counting all the shekels. They are selling out, I put it down for the record. Witty, violence, profit cause they're sharks. I don't care about your feelings, I didn't ask. They are all puppets like Fauci, Gates and the Schwab. But who's the puppeteer with his hand up their arse like? We are free spirits, can't be locked down. We will not comply or get bossed about. Do you want to see the masses get hostile? Can't coerce us. Do you accept the great reset? We don't want the vaccine, we don't need it. Trust a politician, you think I'm an idiot? We do not consent. We are free spirits, can't be locked down. We will not comply or get bossed about. Do you want to see the masses get hostile? Can't coerce us. Do you accept the great reset? We don't want the vaccine, you can keep it. Trust a politician, you think I'm an idiot? We do not consent. Yo, you better know it's 2021 and I get sticky with the flow. I don't need your vax, it's a fact, it can go. You can have my job, be my guest, stick it in your toe like it's me from the world. I'll go live on my own. I ain't scared of them, I don't fear the unknown. I will never give away the power of my soul, and if you got a problem, I don't wanna hear you moan. Cause we do it for the people, do it for the children, do it for the lonely souls stuck in the buildings, do it for the ones who lockdowns have killed them. We say and trust there are millions. Ain't afraid of death, my soul's immortal. I ain't telling you these lockdowns are unlawful. They try and push you and try to be forceful, but nobody here supports the new normal. We are free spirits, can't be locked down. We will not comply or get bossed about. Do you want to see the masses get hostile? Can't coerce us. Do you accept the great reset? We don't want the vaccine, we don't need it. Trust a politician, you think I'm an idiot? We do not consent. We are free spirits, can't be locked down. We will not comply or get bossed about. Do you want to see the masses get hostile? Can't coerce us. Do you accept the great reset? We don't want the vaccine, you can keep it. Trust a politician, you think I'm an idiot? We do not consent.